Guys, listen. I am an advocate for Africa, as you guys know, yes? I am an advocate for Africa. I've been in Tanzania for 2 years. I have been in the trenches. I am in the trenches. I mingle. I go about, guys. I ask questions. I have good people around me that can navigate Tanzanian system, yeah? Why am I getting into all of this, right? Because we as black people, guys, we have to build wealth. We have to be able to lift Africa. It depends on us as the private sector, yeah? This is how America did it. This is how Canada does it. The private sector with the government, guys, build countries, build economy. So if we sit down, right, and if we do not take a stand, and if we do not put fear aside, and if we do not want to invest in Africa, and then we sit down and we complain about Africa, we sit down and we join with those that talk about Africa, to spew negative things about Africa. And I'm asking, what are we doing to build Africa, right? Listen, I have done research, guys. And if you go back and you look at one of my videos, right, I got into the analytics, right? And I talk about the growth of the East African bloc, right? Tanzania, Kenya. And before I left, I was doing some research. Tanzania has taken over Kenya as the #1 economy in East Africa. Guys, if you look at Burundi, Rwanda, Tanzania, Kenya, you look at all those countries, right? You would see that it gives you opportunity, guys, to go in there as black people to build something. The Chinese are pumping so much money into Africa, guys, building stuff. You understand? Because the Chinese see the value in the African economy. You understand? The Chinese put so much billions of dollars into Africa every year. India, other nations, white people are going to Africa, guys, and they are putting money into Africa because they see the potential in Africa. And then we as black people, we sit down and we do not get into the African economy, guys. It is up to us. It is up to us, guys. We are black. We cannot call ourselves African. We cannot say that our ancestors come from Africa and we are African this, we are African that, we are African whatever, and we do not want to look to invest in Africa. You can go into Africa with little money right now and you can build something, guys. You get into the economy, you learn the language. If you're in a country that doesn't speak English, you get into it, guys. You nurture what you build. You look for other ways to put money to invest in other opportunities. The agriculture sector in Africa, be it like cashew nut, be it lemons, be it ginger. Guys, lemons, right? Lemons you can farm lemons and export lemons, guys. Avocados, the Hass avocado is in demand. Guys, there are so many things that you can get into the African economy. Help build the economy and gain wealth. But we sit down in North America and we want to get into the white man thing and, because our ancestors built this and our ancestors, yes, our ancestor did. But there comes a time when you have to say, you know what? I'm cutting my losses and I'm moving on. You are not going to get repatriation. It's not going to happen. Forget that. You understand? This is not going to happen. Accept that reality, right? Accept, what our ancestors was brought to this land, brought to the Caribbean, brought to South America, but against the will. They worked hard. But now I'm going to honor my ancestors. I'm going to move back to Africa. I'm going to invest in Africa because I have learned so much from here. So the knowledge I gained from here, I'm taking it with me to Africa. And I'm going to help build Africa. You build wealth. But we want to stay out here and we want to have a part of the white man did this and we want, you have to accept me. And they keep telling us, no, I don't want you. But yes, you have to. What do you think? Look at the Indian community. Look at the Chinese community, right? They're out here. They're building out here because they have learned how to separate themselves and build on their own. But yet still, we as black people, we are still fighting and we are still struggling to be a part of. I don't want to be a part of anymore. I don't want to be a part of anything here anymore. I want to be able to build. I want to be able to own. And I want to be able to leave a legacy. And Africa gave me the opportunity to do that. Let's continue to stray. Listen, guys, I don't know anything, I don't know anything, but I research, yes? I research, I read, I look at trends. And one thing I have is insight, I have insight, guys. My intuition is sharp. And I always say, right, we have 5 senses, right? One of your senses must be heightened. For me, I got man intuition into things, and I look at things and I see things and I see the movement, guys. I travel around Tanzania. I read about economies in Africa, Ethiopia, right? Burundi. People don't look at Burundi because people think, Burundi is the poorest country in the world. And you don't look at Burundi. The Indians are there. The Chinese are there. There are so many things that you can do in Burundi, guys. You can export beans from Tanzania to Burundi, rice from Tanzania to Burundi. You can go to Burundi right now and you can set up a factory to make mattress. A lot of mattress leave Tanzania and go to Burundi. You get a machine from China, you learn how to make mattress, you go to Burundi, you set up a factory, you can make, guys, let me tell you now, we are lapsing, we are sitting down and we are not doing anything. We are not doing anything, guys. We're scared of Africa. Why? Get rid of the fear, man. Get rid of the fear. Africa is where we need to be. Africa is where we have to be able to develop, to be able to achieve, to be able to, guys, Africa give us the best opportunity. We here, we invest our money here, we put our money in the economy here, and we don't get anything back. And then when I say, well, I don't owe Canada anything, but Canada owes me everything, people getting online and being upset with me for saying that. Because we put our money here, we develop this economy, and we neglect our own. So when I look at the trend, when I look at what's happening, guys, Africa is where we have to be. We cannot allow others to go into our ancestral land and take what rightfully belongs to us. And they don't put anything back. They take away. We have to stop that. But we have to get up and we have to get involved, because if we don't, they don't look at us. The Chinese are building so much in Africa, yeah? And people asking, well, why the Chinese are getting all the contracts? Because we don't organize construction companies. We don't go over there. We don't bid for contracts. So how are we going to get contracts? How are we going to get contracts? The Chinese are doing it. The Koreans are doing it. And they are making millions of dollars. When I see how many hundreds of millions of dollars the Tanzanian government give to the Chinese for different projects, man. There are black construction companies in America. There are black construction companies in England. There's a guy I follow in England. He is a black construction guy. He have his own business. They don't go to Africa to bid. So why would they look at us? So we have to get involved. And Africa, as black people, Africa give us the opportunity to build and to own and to pass on to our generation. We are strained.
But we are gearing up in the United States for war with China. Why? Well, once again, people actually wrote why. You have to know where to look, but if you look at the Council on Foreign Relations, an article by a former colleague of mine, Robert Blackwell and Ashley Tellis, in 2015, they say that China has become so powerful that it threatens American primacy. And China's rise is no longer in America's interest. And so you watch this mentality in the US go into effect. Suddenly, because China's economically successful, they're not just economically successful, they're the enemy. Right. So everything becomes rhetoric.
Yeah, so I am just excited about Africa. As you guys know on this channel, yes? I'm just excited about everything Africa. It's black, number one. The dark continent that they told us Africa was, we know now that Africa is none of that. Africa is alive. Africa is moving. There are movements in Africa, man. And I believe that when you look at the economics of the world right now and you see what's going on, this is just from my perspective. I am not trained in economics in any way, but you don't have to be. You have to be able to have insight. You have to be able to see trend and movement. You understand? And you have to be able to identify, guys. It is exciting. It is an exciting time to be in Africa. This is Africa's time. There are a lot of us young people in the West. Well, not me, I'm gray, but there are a lot of young people in the West who are talented in every aspect of the, be it finance, IT, healthcare, medicine, guys, engineers. I keep saying it, right? Because this is the time for Africa. This is the time for young people. This is the time for middle-aged people. It tells me, America has always been the leader, yes? Which is subject that we have talked about before and we have tapped into, yeah? And those of you who live in America, who are Americans, and those of us who are not, but we live outside of America, and we understand, we see, and we know what America had done for many, many years, right? America have this bully attitude. My friends, my American friends, it's the truth, you know? And you know I speak the truth. Like it or not, it's the truth. America had this bully attitude. You see Trump right now? Trump is like bullying the prime minister of like Denmark. He's trying to like bully Canada. How dare you talk about Canada would be the 51st state? The arrogance, right? And this is America's attitude that you have done and that you actually push the wall against you right now. Because you went around the world, you keep going around the world, creating havoc, destabilizing government, overthrowing government. And China, quietly, patiently, becomes stronger. And now that China is an economic powerhouse, China is your rival, you don't know what to do. You're talking about Denmark. You want to take over like Greenland. You're talking about taking over the Panama Canal. Because of your attitude, you push allies, you push friends away from you towards China. So now you are scrambling now, and you are trying to do what you have always done, which is bully. Fight wars and threats. But the world is not having that. You understand? You can bully someone for so long, and then they come the time when they say no. So China placed itself, which it is fascinating when you look at what China have done in the last 70 years to where they are right now, to become a rival, economic rival to America's dominance. You don't know what to do. So young people, middle-aged people, you have to look at, my God, this is happening around us. You have to open your eyes. You cannot just depend on what people are saying to you. You have to be able to see. You have to be able to do research. You said, okay, this ship is sinking. I have to get off this sinking ship. America ways of doing things is over. Nobody's buying that nonsense anymore. Nobody is attracted to that kind of stuff anymore. This is a different time. This is a different generation. This is a different people. So you have to realize, where can I go for the best economic results? And this is why I'm championing, I'm saying, because we're out here, we work hard, and we need places to put our money. We need places to invest. We need places to grow wealth. We need places that we can develop something that we can pass on to our generation. And I believe Africa is that place right now that is developing. We can get into Africa, countries in Africa, do your research. We can get into Africa. We can start something, we can nurture it, we can build it, and we can watch it grow. Africa gives you the opportunity to do that. And this is why I am excited about Africa.
The idea for mobile money actually wasn't just the brainchild of the tech pros in Silicon Valley. One of the very first mobile banking systems in the entire world actually originated here in Kenya. Back in the early 2000s, banks were very few and far between, and so people had to carry around cash with them, which is sort of not great if you want to avoid being robbed all the time. But then, when mobile phones came along, Kenyan mobile phone providers, they noticed something strange was happening, which is that people would buy minutes, transfer them to somebody else for them to then sell on for money later, a bit like a sort of new currency. And then in 2007, M-Pesa was launched. So Pesa is the Swahili word for money, and M meaning mobile. And originally they just meant this mobile money to be like a sort of lending service. But then people started using it in really unusual ways. So businesses would transfer their cash into M-Pesa, sort of like an overnight safe. People were traveling long distances, they would put money in M-Pesa and then take it out afterwards. This was like a massive success. So within 8 months, M-Pesa had more than 1 million users. And now 96% of households in Kenya use mobile money.
Yes. I tell you, we are intelligent. I tell you guys, we have it. I tell you guys, we are on par. But in North America, we are stifled. In North America, they tell us you can't measure up. You don't have the intelligence. You don't have whatever, guys. But when in Africa, you're free. You're free to explore. You're free to experiment. You're free to try things. Look at this. I'm in Tanzania, right? I use M-Pesa, and I'm wondering why this system is not all over the world, because it is an African invention. It is an African thing. You have money, guys. When I transfer money from here, right, Canada, and I transfer money to like Tanzania, it comes directly to my M-Pesa wallet on my phone. If you go to Western Union, right, how much they will charge you? I don't know, $15. I don't know if it's more than that right now. The last time when I used Western Union, guys, it was $15 to transfer money, yeah? I transfer money from here, and this is what they say right now, okay? Because every time I go to M-Pesa, they try to convince me to link my Canadian bank card directly to my M-Pesa, which, no, I don't want to do that, yeah? Because, God, I don't want to go one day and my account is clean. So I don't want to do that, right? But you could do that. You can link wherever you're from, you can link your bank account, and you like transfer money from me. I can transfer money directly from my Canadian bank to my M-Pesa wallet, yeah? But I use one of those like money apps, right? I transfer money, guys, once a month directly from my bank through the money transfer app. It comes directly to my M-Pesa instantly. A few seconds, less than a minute, it's done. There are times, when the money will be held up and you have to verify your identity, for money laundering, whatever. Yeah, guys? Guys, less than a minute, it's done directly to my M-Pesa wallet. It stays there. So if I want to have cash now, I go to the Wakala. I have my M-Pesa PIN. I have whatever, guys, and I can withdraw cash from the Wakala. Most businesses that you go to, you don't even have to have cash. You can pay directly from your M-Pesa wallet. You go to the supermarket, you go to wherever you go, right? Sometimes you go to the restaurants. It's only when you go to the market that you go to some other little places, guys. But most places have it. So when you go in there, the directions are there. M-Pesa, Airtel Money, like Tigo Pesa, whatever, guys. You just pay directly from your phone. You don't even have to have cash. It is so convenient. It is so easy, guys. And this is an African invention. What are we waiting for? Africa is on the move. Good things are happening in Africa, guys. There are people that come to Africa and they don't have success in Africa. It happens all over the world. People start businesses here. People start businesses wherever. You fail. Some people fold up after failing. Some people say, no, I'm going to try. There are people that have an idea, guys, and it took them 5 tries before that idea take off because they believe in the idea that they have. A lot of people I know people in Tanzania who are silently making money. They are not on YouTube. They're not on YouTube. A lot of people in Africa who do business or whatever, they're not on YouTube. They're silently making money. They mind their business. They struggle. They're down in the trenches. They're hustling. And they're doing very well. And yet still we take what some people on YouTube say, okay, rightfully so, they may not have success, they may do whatever, guys. But guys, listen, you have to look beyond that. You have to pull that curtain and look beyond that and see and be excited. Look at what's happening in North America. How much longer, guys? How much longer? Get on board the train. Get off the sinking ship and get on board the train. Africa is where the train is heading. And we as black people, it is time for us to move. It's time for us to shift. It is time for us to look at Africa seriously. It is time.
This is Kenya. It's one of the biggest countries with the biggest economy in East Africa. And it's located on the coast of the Indian Ocean. It is home to over 54 million people, both diverse, beautiful, and they live together in peace and harmony. This is the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. It's the best city in East Africa. In the city center, there are skyscrapers, luxury hotels, and the first thing that you will see in Kenya is this. This development is what they spend money on. Here, roads are smooth, buildings are magnificent, and their port is one of the biggest.
Tanzania's economy is thriving, with GDP growth expected to surpass 6% in 2024. This is driven by strategic investments in infrastructure, agriculture, and key industries. According to the World Bank, the country's economy grew by 5.3% in 2023, supported by improved industrial production, trade, and government-led initiatives. A major driver of this growth is the $14 billion National Infrastructure Plan, which includes large-scale projects like the Standard Gauge Railway, SGR, energy initiatives such as the Stigler's Gorge hydroelectric project, and improvements to road networks. These investments are expected to enhance transportation, reduce energy costs, and boost industrialization. The agriculture sector, a major part of Tanzania's GDP, also benefits from increased mechanization and modernization. The mining sector continues to contribute significantly to foreign exchange earnings.
I'm excited about the East African bloc, eh? I'm excited about it, guys. Kenya, sometimes, and even now, I believe the economy of like Tanzania now has surpassed Kenya. I could be wrong, but I believe, listen, the president of Tanzania, man, she's quiet, she's meticulous, guys. And she has kept on the track of Magufuli. She is steering the Tanzanian economy ship with steady hands, quietly, navigating through tough waters. Beautifully, guys. You look at Tanzania, you look at Kenya, guys. Look at what's happening here. Look at what's happening in Kenya. That development in Kenya. There are a lot of Americans right now are going to Kenya. A lot of Americans are there, guys, because the economic powerhouse in East Africa is happening, guys. It's happening. Yes, governments in Africa have to do more to ease the way of doing business, which is what Rwanda has done. In Rwanda, you can register a business, I believe, in a couple of hours or a couple of days. In Tanzania, it'll take you weeks. You understand? Like Kenya, it'll take you some time. In Ghana also, you can register a business in 15, 20 minutes, right? So the government of Rwanda has made it easy to do business. And when you do stuff like that, you attract investors. You attract small investors, guys. You need small investors. Small investors are the backbone of an economy. Small investors will come in and invest in something small and hire one person, hire two people. But you give them the incentives to come in and to grow, man. Guys, listen, man. Africa is on the move. Rwanda, look at Rwanda. Look at what Rwanda has done in 30 years, yes? Rwanda is the fastest growing economy in Africa right now. Building, they're investing in so much buildings, right? Tourism. Everywhere you go here in Tanzania, you'll see, even when you go to the stadium to a football match, come to Rwanda. Advertising. Man, Kenya, the development in Africa, guys, who need the West anymore? Who need the West anymore? The West has, man, is done. I'm telling you this, when Donald Trump is done with America, you see what he has done with all of his businesses? When he has sad to say that, but when he's done with America, you'll really see the destruction. You will see that, and you try to flee to Africa in droves. Be one of the first. Go to Africa, do some research, go around, spend some time, and even when you go to Africa, don't be in a hurry to jump into any business venture. Take your time, Take your time. It may take you 1 year. So what? It may take you 2 years. So what? Take your time, travel around, mingle around, open your eyes, see, look for business opportunities. You will see it, you'll find it. Man, that's what I do. When I travel around, I see business opportunities, Let me share something with you, yeah? Let me give you a piece of my let me give you something, a piece of the cake, yeah? In Tanzania, you go around, right? And you see someone selling propane gas in a little frame. Yes? Everyone in Tanzania use propane gas. I'm giving you my ideas, You see now, you travel Africa, you see something that's been done, right? And you can take what is being done and enhance it. Understand? You can take what is being done and take it to the next level. So you travel around and you see people selling like propane gas. Every household needs propane gas. But if I need propane gas, I have to call the motorcycle, give him the tank, the empty tank. He take it to the seller. You feel that they take another tank, bring it to me, right? There's an easier way and there's a better way of doing this, guys. I'm giving you my idea. For $5,000, you can start that business in Tanzania. I'm giving you my ideas, This is my ideas, okay? So I'm just giving you a piece. I'm giving you a piece of the pie. Don't gobble the whole pie because you're going to choke. You understand? So you what you can do, yeah? You approach the petrol companies that sell the propane. Tell them, you know what? Instead of having so many tanks, it costs you money. It costs you the money to have so many tanks. It's costing you money to pay for delivery. It's costing you money. It's costing you money. Time is money when you do business, yeah? So you have to show now, those companies now, I have a tank that they can bring. So now if you have a propane tank, you pay for it, you keep it forever. That's your propane tank. When your gas is finished, you take it to me. I refill the same tank for you. You take it back home. You understand now? Every country have the regulation, the different size of propane tanks, and each propane tank, based on the size, have to have a certain amount of pounds of propane. Right? There are machines, guys. In Nigeria, this is big business. There is no going and exchange propane tank. No, you take your tank to a refiller. They refill it for you. You go with your tank. This is a way of taking something that is already being done and just taking it to the next level. There are many businesses in Tanzania. There are many businesses in Africa that you can go in and you can see how it's done and do it better. So you walk around, you mingle around, you meet with people, you spy, you open your eyes. You understand? When you travel abroad, if you want to go to settle in Africa, yeah, when you get there, like I said, take your time, right? You find a local person, preferable a young person that finished university. You give them a job. They work with you. You understand? You pay them $200 a month. That's a lot of money. You understand? But you pay them something extra. I pay my guys extra. That's why I always tell them I'm paying you extra money so you don't mess with me. You understand? Because I'm treating you very well. I expect better from you. So you find someone who is educated from university. You have them as close to you that you can move around with them. Especially if you're in a country like Tanzania where English is not widely spoken. They can help you get certain things done. The young people from like university are educated. They know, they're excited. This is their time. It is their future. 20 years from now, they will be the ones that will run things. So you have someone that you employ and you keep them close to you. They help you to go along. You will have to spend money. You may pay them for 1 year without even getting anything done, but they are vital to your success. Africa is on the move. Let's continue to stray.
Think you know Africa's economic giants? You might be surprised by these rapidly rising stars. Let's dive into the top 3 fastest growing economies in Africa. Number 3, Kenya. Kenya's economy is on fire thanks to its booming tech industry, often called the Silicon Savannah. Agriculture and tourism also play a huge role, propelling its GDP to new heights. Number 2, Ethiopia. Despite being landlocked, Ethiopia is a rising star. Large-scale infrastructure projects like the Grand Renaissance Dam and a strong focus on manufacturing make it a major player in Africa's economic landscape. Number 1, Rwanda. And now for the big shocker. Rwanda, a country known more for its history than its economy, is now Africa's fastest growing economy. With strategic reforms, a business-friendly environment, and investments in technology and infrastructure, Rwanda is setting the pace for the continent's future.
Things are happening, family. Things are happening. Excuse me. Things are happening, guys. Kenya, Rwanda, Ethiopia. We don't hear much people talk about Ethiopia at all. Ethiopia is in the East African bloc. Ethiopia is doing very well when it comes to, there is a British man in Ethiopia, right? He was a wheat farmer back in England. He moved to Ethiopia, and he's one of the biggest wheat farmer in Ethiopia. But what he did, he did not isolate himself from the local wheat farmers. Yeah? Although he has better capital and whatever, right? He has the equipment for harvesting and planting, whatever. Yeah. So where his farm is, the young farmers around him, he uses his equipment to till the land to harvest the crop, and they all come together after harvest time, put the crops together, they harvest together and sell. So he has developed. I tell you, you don't have to isolate yourself. And if you want to be successful in Africa, guys, there are a lot of people in Africa, especially if you want to be in the agriculture sector, yeah, which is a really good sector to get into. Guys, Africa is exciting. Africa has issues. You will run into issues in Africa. You will run into stumbling block in Africa, guys, but you have to be strong, you have to be steadfast, you have to push forward, and you have to break down the walls, guys. So I don't want to come here and think, okay, yes, I'm excited, yeah, but also I want to also give you caution. Do your research. And that's why I said, if you go over there and it take you 1 year, it take you 2 years, at least you learn the culture, you learn the language. If it's a different language, you learn how business is being done. You learn the people, you learn how they shop, you know what they want. Do you want to buy goods from that country to export, or do you want to do business internally, inwardly in that country? So he went to Ethiopia is a giant, man, in manufacturing, and that's what he said, Guys, I sit down and I go online and I research and I try to study the economies in the East African bloc, because this is where I'm situated, and because Tanzania is strategically located, I try to study the economy of all the East African bloc countries that surround Tanzania. You see that if you do something here in Tanzania, guys, I talked about Burundi earlier. A lot of goods from Tanzania goes to Burundi. You have contacts in Burundi. You can come to East Africa. You can settle in Burundi. You can come to Tanzania by the bus. It takes you a day or whatever to come by the bus if you don't want to fly. You come here, you buy your goods here, you ship it back to Burundi. A lot of rice, a lot of beans, a lot of whatever goods come through Tanzania, even from the port to Burundi. Africa is where you need to be as a black person, as a black man, as a black woman, as a black person who's looking for business opportunity, who looking for to build something, to grow something, this is where you need to be.
Last year, I traveled across the entire African continent for one simple reason: to meet a special group of people who are changing our continent, people who are creating job opportunities, people who are making lives better. Who are they, and how can you be one of them? Let me introduce you to Africa's business heroes. See, Africa's Business Heroes is about empowering African entrepreneurs, and it was founded in 2019 when Jack Ma visited the continent. He saw people who were making lives better and creating impact through business. That inspired him to empower them. These are people like him whose company is saving lives in Nigeria. People like her whose company is helping women in rural Ghana make money. And people like him whose company is fixing education. And we call them Africa's business heroes.
When I see things like this, it makes me excited. You know, because young people, man, I tell you now, you sit there in America, you sit there in England, you sit there wherever you are, and you think, oh, well, I'm in America, or I'm in Europe, I'm in Canada, I'm in wherever, guys. Young Africans are doing things. Young Africans are making a difference. Young Africans, man, they are on the move. They are coming into their own. See, a man like Jack Ma, he went to Africa and he see the potential in Africa and he's investing in Africa. You look at Tanzania. Tanzania is building a business park that costs how many $1 million? How much $1 million, right? It's being built by a Chinese businessman. But what do you think he's doing? You think he's just coming there to put millions of dollars in the economy of like Tanzania without knowing how he's going to get it back? He sees the potential. He knows the potential that in Africa, and he knows that he will make his money back and then some. Why are we creating so much space for people to come in and you know, and take what rightfully belong to us because we don't invest? How many black people you see going to like China to invest? How many black people you see going to India to invest? How many black people you see going to like to the Middle East to invest? And even if you try, the amount of stumbling blocks that'll be in your way, but they're coming here because they see the opportunities here. They see it. You think he'll put millions of dollars into building a big business park and you don't know how he's going to get it back? Come on, guys. Young people in Africa. Africa is not waiting for you, my friends in the diaspora, my friends in the West. Africa is not waiting for you. Just as life does not sit and wait for you to figure things out, Africa is not waiting for you. And by the time you know it, it will be too late. By the time you know it, guys, we will be conquered by others. And then you'll be like, oh my God, this and with that. No, because we sit down on our hands and we don't get up and we don't take risk. You have to take risk in life. You have to take risk in life to how many of you were born with a silver spoon? How many of you have like generational wealth that was passed down to you? Well, start creating it, man. Start creating it for your generation. It's up to you, you know. You recognize it now. So it's up to you now to lay the foundation to create generational wealth for you. Don't be selfish, my friends. Don't be selfish and think, well, oh, it's only about me. And when I die, my kids will be on their own and I educate my kids. And no, my friend, think about your generation. Think about them because you have to do it so that you can lay something down for your generation. Because if you don't do, who will? You make it easier for your own children, and they in turn make it easier for your grandchildren, and your grandchildren make it easier for your great-grandchildren. This is how it's done. Young people in Africa, I'm excited about what you are doing. You're educated. You're brilliant. The world needs you, but you need to stay in Africa to develop Africa. Guys, get off the sinking ship, get on board. This is the African Jumbie. Thank you for watching this video. Please give the video a like, leave a comment, share the video, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, man. We are on the way to 3,000 subscribers. I'm excited. Peace and love. Until next time.